I'd like you to join me in recognizing today's sponsors. Our annual meeting title sponsor is Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works, and they're going to come up in a little bit to give you some information on a new event coming to the region. Our annual meeting program sponsor is Consumers Energy, and I also want to recognize the Doubletree Bay City Riverfront for hosting us today, and as well as McLaren Bay Region for printing and putting together our annual report in your tables. We would also like to recognize our elected officials in the audience today. Please stand as I call your name and hold your applause until finished. Our elected government officials from state and local government include Jake Bennett, representing Congressman Dale Kilde's office, Matt Bierlein, District Director for Kevin Daly's office, Brian Elder, State Representative from the 96th House District, and Spencer Verhagen, Regional Manager for U.S. Senator Debbie Stabenow's office. Thank you for coming with us today. As many of you know, the City of Bay City and Bay County remain as Bay Future's largest financial supporters, and we have a number of county and city commissioners with us as well today. I'm going to call them, and please hold your applause until they all stand. Jim Barsha, County Executive of Bay County. Vaughn Begic, Bay County Commissioner of the 3rd District. Mike Durancheck, Bay County Commissioner, Northern Bay County, 1st District. Tom Ryder, Bay County Commissioner, 6th District. Kathy Newsham, Mayor of the City of Bay City. And Chris Basmajian, Bay City Commissioner of the 7th Ward. Thank you for coming. And we also have our small cities and townships who are also vital supporters, including many of the township supervisors who are on the Bay County Township Officers Association. I'd like to recognize them as well. Terry Close, Supervisor of Hampton Township. Lee Kilborn, Mayor of the City of Auburn. Sue Pike, Treasurer of Monitor Township. Glenn Rowley, Supervisor of Bangor Township. Paul Wasick, Williams Township Supervisor. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you to all of our public servants for all they do, as well as all the employees of our city and county. If there are any in the audience today, please stand and be recognized. Seeing none, we'll move on. Bay Future works collaboratively and cooperatively with local units of government, including small cities, downtown development authorities, and townships. It takes true partnership, collaboration, and cooperation between the public and private sectors to move Bay County forward. Thank you to those of you who are public servants, along with our investors and the business community, for allowing to help us grow our community. Bay Future's vital role in this community, the Great Lakes Bay region, and the state of Michigan would not be possible with the support of local businesses, investors, units of local government, organizations, and foundations. Thank you for all your continued support. At this time, I would like to introduce Chris Rishko, CEO of Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works, to say a few words.
Good morning, everybody. It's a great pleasure for Michigan Works to be the title sponsor for this event. But also, I wanted to take time to introduce you to an event that we are convening here in the regions called My Career Quest. Slide, please. So My Career Quest is going to be held October 30th at SVSU, and what it is, it's a new type of event where it's a career exploration for our 8th through 12th grade students across our region, as well as the 6 counties directly above us. We're looking to host about 10,000 students in total, and what we're going to do is we're going to pair them with employers in high-demand industries across our region so they can learn the career paths, where they could focus their career paths for the future. This is really going to be, it's new because it's tactile. It's not a bunch of students talking to HR reps or anything like that. These are actually the folks who are doing the job on a day-to-day basis, and we get to put them together so that they can start the discussion on what their career is going to look like and what their future is going to hold. Here's a little bit of a video. This model has been used across Michigan, where we're bringing it to the Great Lakes Bay region. This is an example of the event that happened in West Michigan, where it started 4 years ago.
My Career Quest is a multi-industry career exploration event. So we have 4 different industries that come together to show students what it's like to have a career in one of these industries. The entire event is really about exposing students to careers they may never have heard about before. We really want to change perceptions. Together, we're construction, advanced manufacturing, health sciences and technology, and information technology.
We have great occupations within all of our industries that can be viable and just as fantastic as being a doctor or lawyer can be. It really started because Michigan Works saw that there was a need for students to see careers and career opportunities. What if we collaborate on a level far beyond anything that we've ever done before?
Career Quest intentionally is a different experience. It's designed for the students to interact with employers in a way that they can touch and see and experience the day-to-day job that they might encounter if they pursued that occupation. I think it's important for the community in the region to support our economic viability in West Michigan. These sectors are all high-growth, high-wage opportunities. This is a very influential time in students' lives, and quite frankly, the opportunities are limitless right now.
I cannot get 9,000 students into my company alone, but what I can do is collaborate with my peers and with my competitors and with my educators, and I can showcase in a way that's far beyond anything that I can do as an individual.
My Career Quest is employer-driven, and so that means that we need businesses to come to the table to say, we're willing to give our time, we're willing to give our people the opportunity to work with students. We're willing to bring our equipment in, and we're willing to help fund this event. Every single dollar that's raised is out of the kindness of the businesses that come to the table, and so without them, this event wouldn't exist.
This is something that is totally different. It's not a trade show, it's not a science fair. It's a way for a student to see a career in a totally different light. And quite frankly, our employees that get to go to this experience and engage with students come away more energized and excited about their own career because they've just had a student go, wow, you get to do that every day. And they go, oh, yeah, I do get to do this every day, and it's cool.
We have already opened our registration to schools as of the 15th, so they're able to register and get online. We're kind of divvying up the slots per the population of each county. However, if you're interested in being involved or you're just looking for some more information, here's our contact, both Kristen Wenzel here in the Great Lakes Bay region and Natasha Allen in Region 7B, directly toward north. Our Facebook page is up, and we also have our website, which is going to be going, and that's going to be a portal with information and a way to reach out to schools as this gets closer. So please take a moment if you can, visit the website and learn more. It's going to be a great event for our students as well as for our region, and we are pleased to partner to bring it to the Great Lakes Bay. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I, for one, think that video is really exciting, especially in the construction trades. We need more workers, and we need more people interested, young people going into those sectors. Now I would like to introduce to the stage Trevor Keys, the President and CEO of Bay Future Incorporated. He's going to join me in recognizing those companies that have made investments in Bay County in 2018. We appreciate your investment. It's why we're here in support of our community. So please come to the podium as your business is announced. The Bay County Road Commission put forward funds to match a Michigan Department of Transportation grant totaling more than $500,000 for road improvements. Bay Future worked with these organizations in Williams Township to secure these funds, which will aid the continued economic development opportunities in Williams Township. Thank you for being an outstanding partner of Bay Future in 2018. We'd like to bring the Bay County Road Commission up. Jim Mullo, is he here? Our next company is Falcon Asphalt Repair Equipment, manufacturer of asphalt hot boxes and track distributors used for pothole repair and maintenance. Ooh, boy, it's very important, especially this time of year. Constructed its new global headquarters and production facility in Williams Township. The company invested over $4.7 million into the 53,000 square foot facility and brings 50 employees with them and has plans to grow by an additional 50. The project has allowed the company to consolidate 2 separate production sites and has provided Falcon with space for future expansion, which we love to hear. So we'd like to bring Falcon Asphalt up. So from Williams Township to downtown Bay City we go. MDL Companies, owner Michael Loomis and business partner Ernie Stoutenberg, purchased the former PNC Bank building in downtown Bay City with plans to renovate the eastern half with an investment of $2.8 million. The project will consist of first floor commercial space and residential apartments on the second and third floors. It is slated to be completed in 2021. MDL, please join us. And from downtown to uptown we go. We're getting all around Bay County today. Main Street Uptown Development LLC began construction on the $8.6 million Phase 2 of Uptown Bay City, which we have all been looking forward to. The project will include a 3-story mixed-use building of 55,000 square feet featuring office, retail spaces, and residential apartments. The project continues the development of the 43-acre waterfront parcel, which includes commercial, retail, and residential spaces, and companies such as the Michigan Sugar Company, CMURC, Chemical Bank, McLaren Bay Region, and Dow. Joining us is Pete Shaheen from Main Street in Uptown Development. Our thanks goes to these organizations again for seeing the value of Bay County and choosing to invest your capital and create jobs here in our community. At this time, we would also like to recognize those Bay Future board members who are leaving our board and who have made tremendous mark on the organization. And I'd like to start with one that has really helped me as past chair over the last year when I served as chair, Mitzi Dimitrov with RDS Management. Mitzi played an integral role during her time on the board, most recently serving as past chair, as I mentioned, but she was very influential through our last capital campaign, chairing the Bronze Level Investor Committee. Mitzi leaves the organization stronger and she left it in a great financial situation, and it would not have been possible without her efforts. And I really appreciate, personally, the help you've given me through the process. So thank you, Mitzi. picture with me. Thank you for indulging me there. The following individuals that are leaving our board couldn't join us today, but each has had an impactful role within the organization and helped us get where we are today as a very stable organization. Thank you for your service to Bay Future, and we look forward to continue working with you. That includes Jennifer Acosta of Jennifer Acosta Development, Clarence Civilian, CEO of McLaren Bay Region, and Leslie Thompson of the Doubletree. She actually left our community, but while she was here, she was really helpful, and our relationship with the Doubletree is very strong. So I'd like to thank those folks. And now I'd like to introduce Trevor Keys, our President and CEO.
Thanks. Don't go too far. All right, don't go too far, Wayne. We want to make sure that we recognize you and your contributions as well. We want to thank Wayne and honor him as the outgoing Bay Future 2018 Board Chairman. Throughout his chairmanship in 2018, Wayne has been an advocate for change, for reaching higher and further, and leading us into our second strategic process for planning, vision, and goal setting with an unwavering eye toward the future. Through the successful completion of the Future is Now capital campaign, through board work sessions and workshops, SWOT analysis, board development, special initiative meetings, the formation and adoption of the new strategic plan, and the like, I want to thank you on behalf of the board and the staff and present this to you, Wayne, to commemorate your leadership and resolve over 2018. And now you'll have to indulge me. We're going to go take a picture real quick. All right.
Well, wow, that's, thank you. That's, very cool. And I think, Bay Future is really something that resonates with me because of the word future. I'm a very forward-looking individual, and I like to see what can be, not what has been done. It's great that we're celebrating today, but I think, it just breeds what's next for the future. Development breeds development. Having been grown and raised in Bay County, it was a true honor to serve as the chair in 2018. It was the final year of the Future is Now campaign, our successful 3-year campaign that we completed in 2016. Our work was supported by you, our valued investors, community leaders, and seats of government, and I'm happy to report that we've exceeded our goals outlined in the plan. We have had the opportunity to take on new initiatives and create additional partnerships. Although we salute the success and the role each of you has played, I remind you I am forward-looking. In realizing our goals, we know we have much more work to be done for Bay City to compete in the 21st century. For that to happen, it requires a consistent commitment to supporting the rapidly changing needs of business, as well as capitalizing upon and mitigating the challenges of opportunities associated with disruptive technology. While we can be very proud of our legacy as a hardworking community, we must prepare and adapt to remain a great place to do business. I am pleased to announce that BFI has adopted a new 5-year strategic plan to support efforts in attracting, retaining, and building assets that Bay County needs to increase our competitiveness. As part of this plan, we will strengthen our core mission of helping existing businesses expand and create jobs, while also working with our regional partners to attract new businesses. We will work with our many partners at the local and state level to attract and place skilled talent in our communities. We will aggressively market and prepare our highest value sites for development that adds true value to our community. And perhaps most importantly and impactfully, we will work tirelessly to improve the perception of Bay County both inside and outside of our community. The entire community benefits from a strong business climate in Bay County and throughout the Great Lakes Bay region. Quality development and redevelopment of land for business purposes creates jobs and adds to our tax base. More and better careers mean more and better opportunities and economic outcomes for those living in Bay County. The results of our work add prosperity for all of us who support economic development, bar none. We cannot accomplish these goals without the continued support of you, our valued investors, and partners in the community. I hope each and every one of you will continue your support in carrying out our mission each day and consider increasing your support as we pursue these bold goals. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to the new chair, and I'll let Trevor do that. So,
Sure.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wayne. Now at this time, I'd like to welcome to the stage Mr. Ryan Tarrant, the incoming 2019 Chair of Bay Future, as Wayne will formally pass the gavel on to his successor. Let's welcome Ryan.
Thank you, Trevor, and thank you, Wayne. So being the chairman of an organization is a lot like camping. I told my wife this story last night. She said, just don't embarrass me. We did a lot of camping when I was growing up, and the one thing that I always hear is my father's voice in the back of my head saying, make sure that you leave the campsite cleaner than you found it. Because if you do that, every time you come back and visit, the campground will always be improved. Of course, he'd always follow up with, nobody else should have to clean up your mess. So, good job, Wayne. And I hope to do the same. Appreciate Wayne's leadership, and it's always a lot easier to follow someone when they provide a vision for an organization, and I think Wayne's done that over the past year, and I look forward to leaning on him and his counsel during the next year. I'm excited to chair this organization in 2019 when Bay Future is poised for growth as we embark on a new 5-year strategic plan. As we've heard, this plan will make a positive impact on our long-term efforts to attract and retain business in our community, from traditional strengths of agribusiness, manufacturing, to healthcare, and technology, among others. This is possible because of Wayne and Trevor's leadership during the past year, but it's only achievable with your investment in the organization. Your commitment to provide the resources necessary to fully implement this plan. If you're already an investor, thank you. And I'd encourage you to consider increasing your investment in Bay Future. If you're not an investor, but are here with us today, I would encourage you to reach out to a board member or the staff to discuss how you can become more involved. I'm excited to continue working with Bay Future, Trevor, the board, and all of you in this role. Now, on behalf of myself and Trevor, we'd also like to take this time to recognize all the volunteer board members who have played a key role in developing and leading the Bay Future organization. The following individuals will serve on the board of directors in 2019. Please stand as we call your name, and please hold your applause until all are standing. Wayne Barber, Jim Barsha, Carice Besmadjian, Mark Bauer, Joan Bauza, Dr. Anthony Bowron, Nikki Burgessson, Lori Bush, Ron Campbell, Rob Clark, Mike Debo, Michael Duranchuk, Larry Erlinger, Dave Green, Todd Gregory, Lee Kilborn, Mary Koulis, Dana Muscott, Megan Saman, Pedro Santos, Don Scherzer, Chris Sheridan, and Kristen Wenzel. Thank you all for your continued commitment to Bay Future and the region. I would also like to extend my appreciation to all of Bay Future's board members from the past. Bay Future's success is due to the vision and leadership of great people like our board of directors and our investors. We thank each of you for caring enough about this community to give your time, your energy, and your financial support. We are so gracious. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan, and thank you all for being with us today. Every year I become more appreciative and grateful of the partnerships, the relationships, and the friendship Bay Future has with all of you, our community leaders, our economic development partners and workforce development partners, and our Bay Future investors. You represent a diverse and catalytic cross-section of our community, representing equal parts of ingenuity, moxie, devotion, and stick-to-itiveness, with ideas, goals, know-how, and imagination that propel communities like ours forward and organizations like ours forward year after year. Ideas like Pitch a Dream, a business pitch competition celebrating its inaugural year in 2018, giving those entrepreneurial dreamers the ability to convert their ambition to realization, while also supplying critical capital necessary to help fulfill it. $45,000 in cash and in-kind services, in fact, including a $25,000 cash prize, which is no small potatoes. Thanks to the Bay County Growth Alliance, the Bay Area Chamber of Commerce, and Central Michigan University Research Corporation, as well as a multitude of sponsors, for your tireless efforts in partnering to propel our community forward. Goals like Root Bay City, which launched last year, have set to keep and attract skilled, educated, hardworking, and passionate people in our community by featuring stories that speak to the topics and themes many of those people are interested in and care about. Emerging opportunities, transformative initiatives and projects in our community, and celebrating the uniqueness of our people and our towns. To inspire and encourage that next generation of community and business leaders to invest their time, talent, and treasure in their hometown, and to roll out the welcome wagon for those future residents eager to take advantage of what their new hometown has to offer. Thank you to the partnerships of the Bay Area Community Foundation, the Chamber, the United Way of Bay County, along with the sponsorships of Dow, Independent Bank, the Kanzler Foundation, and the Smith Foundation, McLaren Bay Region, Wildfire Credit Union, and others. Together, this coalition will tell the stories of the positive placemaking initiatives critical to future success in our hometown. And the know-how our business community possesses, generations of know-how in fact, has been leveraged to train the future skills employees will need to help Bay County companies expand and reinvest. Programs and partnerships like those with the Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works through the Great Going Pro Training Fund that has allowed for 14 companies, large and small, to receive a total of more than $300,000 in training funds this year, nearly twice that of funds dispersed in the 2018 fiscal. There is power in the partnerships this community possesses. 2018 was the culmination of our 3-year growth plan. It was titled The Future Is Now, a title denoting the urgency in which we need to work to accomplish the aggressive goals we had set forward during our capital campaign. Now, in 3 years, a goal of $300 million in new capital investment became a realized total of nearly $487 million in new capital investment throughout Bay County. And in 3 years, a goal of 600 new living wage jobs became a realized total of more than 700 new jobs in Bay County. And in 3 years, with 3 staff people, a total of 24 companies made investment in more than $24 million in direct payroll to our Bay County economy. Now, this was only made possible by the high quality and world-class companies that call Bay County and the region home. Some of our largest and some of our most steadfast companies that have been in our community for many decades, made huge investments in our community, further cementing their commitment. These investments, along with community partnerships and resources, are assets to be proud of and to tout out in the community. Because as I've said before, and as I'll say again, Bay Future does not exist without your support.
choices we make today impact the world of tomorrow. Within a community, growth and prosperity occur when educators, elected officials, business leaders, and residents come together and create a shared vision of the future. Bay Future is committed to leading that effort by implementing economic development growth strategies that increase tax base, create jobs, and support existing business. Since the inception of the organization in 2004, Bay Future has assisted in the creation and retention of more than 3,600 jobs, while facilitating over $1.5 billion in new capital investment. In an effort to build on these accomplishments, BFI launched a bold 3-year economic growth plan in the fall of 2015, titled "The Future is Now."
When I was approached to be involved in that campaign, it was a no-brainer for me. My feeling is that jobs solve all problems. If we've got a fully employed community, all those other great things we like to do, live, work, and play in this area come to fruition, whether it's the arts, whether it's recreation, and I think it all starts with jobs, and having a strong economic development group is the cornerstone to that.
Bay Future has exceeded the goals outlined within the Strategic Action Plan by assisting companies in the creation of over 700 new jobs, nearly $490 million in new capital investment, and by securing over $23 million in government contracts.
I was pleased to find out that not only did we do it, but we exceeded our goals. So I was really proud of the economic development folks. Bay Future knocked it out of the park.
During the Future is Now campaign, BFI assisted 16 businesses in expansion projects and attracted 11 new businesses to Bay County.
Bay Future was very instrumental in helping us move, finding a site location that would facilitate not only our current need, but then our need to facilitate a growth.
When we made the decision to come to Bay City, it was very easy and natural because Bay City already had Bay Future that's doing awesome work in economic development, and so we're just a complementary piece for that.
Bay Future focuses on 4 main pillars: retaining existing businesses within Bay County, assisting those businesses with expansion efforts, attracting new businesses and opportunities to the community, and marketing Bay County statewide, nationally, and internationally as a business-friendly community with the ultimate goal to create quality jobs.
We're going to have, over the next 5 years, a need to fill many different levels of our employee organization with production workers all the way up to mid-level and senior managers.
Bay Future ensures Bay County has the resources that community members need to live a full and enjoyable life, including quality medical and educational facilities, recreation resources, cultural attractions, and easy access to surrounding cities. Having a vision, identifying goals, and joining together to achieve those goals can lead the way for a brighter, better future.
We're very optimistic in the near term, 5 and 10 years, of being able to add on to this facility and even bring more vitality and more benefit to the county.
So we really made that determination to come into Bay County, be a part of what already exists, and be a part of the entrepreneurial community that's already pretty strong here in Bay City.
Well, it's very unique. There's not a lot of places in the state that have a riverfront like this. And I think leveraging these businesses that call this area home, I think the future is very bright.
With commitment and passion, Bay Future continues to pave the path forward. The future is now.
Thank you. As we celebrate the success of the past, we look toward the future. The new 5-year strategic plan has already seen a new program partnership flourish between Bay Future Incorporated and the Michigan Economic Development Corporation in the selection and participation of the Michigan Site Readiness Program. Now, this program will allow for properties in Bay County to be counted among those best sites marketed, branded, and positioned for the highest and best investment everywhere the MEDC's attraction team and the Region 5 attraction team touches. Every national and international contact we reach. A wonderful opportunity to be counted among the state's finest developable assets through additional aggressive attraction efforts, which is squarely actionable through our fourth tactic for success, marketing and site readiness development. This new plan with tactics for success outlined above will be our guiding document in how we look to shape and move the needle for the Bay County of the future. We're excited to share this strategic action plan with you, the community, and our investors over the next few months in much more detail as we roll it into the next phase of Bay Future's development as the lead economic development organization of tomorrow. With great partnerships, friendships, support, and relationships we see personified here today, to quote Mark Flagenheimer, the future for our community is very bright. Thank you so much for being here today. Now, at this time, I would like to welcome Jeff Mays, Executive Director of Business Customer Care at Consumers Energy and former board chair of Bay Future Incorporated, to the podium to introduce our keynote sponsor, or keynote speaker rather. Jeff?
So good afternoon. It's great to be here amongst so many friends. I want to thank you all for your work you're doing to make Bay County and the Great Lakes Bay region a better place to live, work, and play. We all know greatness exists in this region and the progress we are making in this community because of the leadership in this room. As you'll hear from our speakers shortly, at Consumers Energy, we share your commitment to building and caring for the communities we serve, and we know it can't be done alone. So again, thank you for your continued collaboration with the Consumers Energy team and for your support of Bay Future. This afternoon, we have the opportunity to hear from a person who has a reputation that precedes him around the state of Michigan. In fact, I've only known Roger Curtis for a few months. However, I've heard his name and about his work for a number of years. But I found out a most interesting fact this past week about Roger. The man has legions of Twitter followers. Now, if you're not following Roger currently, it's a stuff of legends. And if I can put it at scale, I thought Matt Fallon had a lot of Twitter followers. This is a whole new level in itself. So very impressive. If you want to follow or check out Roger's Twitter account, visit @MIRogerC. Hashtag tell your friends. So, kidding aside, I'm proud to say Roger is our Vice President of Public Affairs for Consumers Energy. Before joining us last fall, he served as the Director of Talent and Economic Development for the state of Michigan. At TED, Roger implemented the Marshall Plan for Talent, spearheading innovative ways to close Michigan's talent gap and prepare students for the jobs of the future. And prior to his time at the state, he served as president of Michigan International Speedway, truly transforming the way MIS did business. He took it from a NASCAR-only racetrack to a multi-dimensional space for people to have fun and enjoy all the great things Michigan has to offer. This includes creating the Faster Horses Music Festival, which is fitting as he's a major music fan, and I didn't know this either, even worked for Capitol Records in his former life. In short, Roger is a man of many passions, talents, and insights. I feel fortunate to work with him now that he's joined our company. I look forward to hearing him talk about today why he came to Consumers Energy, about his passion for the way our company is approaching business, and how our company is using a new way of thinking to drive change across the state of Michigan, including right here in Bay County. Please join me in welcoming Roger Curtis.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you, Bay Future, for the opportunity to be here today. I greatly appreciate it. It is an honor. I look across this room, though, and Jeff assured me a small, intimate gathering for my first presentation at Consumers Energy. So thanks, Jeff. Appreciate that. So with that said, I think let's just take a moment and lower expectations. I've been at Consumers for 6 months, and this is my first presentation. So if we do that, that will make the experience so much more enjoyable for the audience and the presenter. So thank you for doing that. I do want to give a quick shout out to Chris and the Michigan Works Great Lakes Bay region. Wonderful job with putting on My Career Quest, getting ready to put that on, I should say. That was something that was really important to Ted, too. So excited to see it coming to this region. What a great career, I mean real, meaningful career exploration opportunity for the students in this area to learn about a lot of great jobs that I guarantee you they do not know about. One other caveat before I really get going. I was in Washington, D.C. Earlier this week. I have terrible allergies, and the cherry blossoms were in full bloom. So I brought a little water, so if I have to pause for some water or wipe my nose, please forgive me. But it was beautiful and it was ugly at the same time. So with that, as you know, I want to talk about the history of service for Consumers Energy. As Jeff mentioned, I may have only been at the company now 6 months, but I've been aware of Consumers for a long time. Moved here in 2006 to the great state of Michigan, live in Onstead, so I'm a Consumers customer. Had a great partnership with them on many levels, which I'll touch on here in a second. Consumers has been around for more than 130 years, and our company has had a long-standing partnership with Bay Future, and even though I'm new, I am very excited to introduce myself and reintroduce Consumers Energy to you. And as you might guess, I get a few questions. As Jeff mentioned, my checkered past, my history. How did you go from Michigan International Speedway to Talent and Economic Development to Consumers Energy? And why Consumers Energy? And I'll tell you, I love to be inspired. To be able to apply my passion, and I have a lot of it, and my ideals, and I have very strong beliefs, to aspirational goals. That's what I wake up for every day. And the common denominator across the racetrack, TED, and Consumers Energy is that aspirational vision of making lives better by not being afraid to think out of the box, by willing to be innovative and transformational. That's really important. And as Jeff mentioned at MIS, hey, we weren't just a racetrack. We were a year-round entertainment destination. We thought of ourselves more like Disney than we did a sports facility, most certainly a motorsports facility. And we added so many different events. Faster Horses, which is now, I believe, the 5th or 6th largest music festival in the country, was one of them. When the governor called and asked if I would go to Talent and Economic Development, I was shocked. What did he want with me in talent and education with this entertainment background? And he said, because you thought differently, I want you to come apply that to education and talent development in the state. And in 2 short years with an amazing team, and when I say team, not just TED, I mean the Michigan Works folks, the superintendents, principals, teachers around the state, the unions, the businesses, everyone involved in education and talent development, which is everyone. That group of people, all of you, really helped make the Michigan Career Pathways Alliance and Marshall Plan come together. So very, very proud of that work. And now Consumers. They are not your stereotypical energy utility company. They have a sincere desire to be your partner, to help people, planet, and to help Michigan prosper, to provide world-class performance with a hometown service. But before I get into talking about people, planet, and prosperity, just in case anyone here is on Jeopardy and Consumers Energy is a category, I want to give you some facts, because I want you to really smash it and clean house, set a record for winnings. So we have been Michigan's trusted energy provider, as I mentioned, for a long time. We have a family of over 12,000 employees and contractors who go to work every day to serve our 6.7 million customers in Michigan. That makes us the 4th largest utility in the United States. The core of our business, as you might expect, pipes, wires, and power plants, though I will get to that a little bit more here soon. That is our core. And you can see on the map, we touch every county in the Lower Peninsula. Our electric service territory is in yellow, our natural gas is in blue, and our combined territory in green. All told, we have 71,000 miles of electric lines. That's from here to California 27 times, should you be inclined to drive that. We have 28,000 miles of gas pipelines. That's only 11 trips to California, but still a lot. We also have 15 natural gas storage facilities that we own and operate. This is amazing. I can tell you, compared to other utility companies in the United States, there is no other utility company that has that capability. So what it allows us to do, a maximum flexibility of buying natural gas when it's very inexpensive in the summer, storing that, and then delivering it to you in the wintertime when if we were to purchase off the pipelines would be much, much higher. So we can provide those savings to you in the wintertime and help all of our customers. We currently operate wind, solar, biomass, coal, and natural gas power plants and the amazing Ludington Pump Station all across the state. And we're getting increasingly greener and cleaner, and a little bit more on that as well. I mentioned pipes, wires, power plants being our core. While we need those wires, pipes, power plants to serve our customers and provide the energy that all of you rely on, we are much more than that. At the heart of our daily operations is our commitment to world-class performance delivering hometown service. As Michigan's largest utility, we believe we have an opportunity and a responsibility to go beyond the requirements of the business to serve our communities and Michiganders. Okay, that was a lot of words, a little aspirational, but what does that really mean? I can tell you. The energy industry is at a crossroads. We're facing a moment of unprecedented change. We're changing the way we generate energy, the way the energy is distributed, the way the energy is used, the way in which customers interact with the utility, us as the provider, all of that is changing. And as a failed engineer, Jeff failed to mention, I actually started as a nuclear engineer on top of all that other potpourri of stuff that I did. Started as a nuclear engineer at Purdue. I was there 2 years. I left before they threw me out. So as a failed engineer, the science and technology behind this transformation to me is fascinating. But what attracts me most to Consumers Energy is the way in which we are committed to working through this change. And it all comes down to that genuine, and I mean genuine, commitment to hometown service. I am honored to work beside the thousands of men and women who believe in this purpose. The reality is we are morphing from a transactional commodities provider to an interactive solutions provider. From having ratepayers, that's what utilities used to call all of you, from ratepayers to customers to now and certainly in the future having partners. From gas and electricity being sent to you, now us asking you, when do you want that, how do you want that, where do you want that, changing the complete dynamic of our relationship, looking at you differently. We want to build a relationship to be your neighbor, the nice one, not the one with the barking dog and the annoying kids, the nice neighbor you go to, and to offer world-class experience, expertise, and services to better your life. Working together is what it's all about. In everything that we do, we are committed to getting it right for our customers in the state of Michigan, because Michigan's our home too. We're not some fly-in company. We live here. All of our employees live here. Michigan is home, and we're proud of that. And we know that requires partnering with all of our stakeholders, like Bay Future and all of you in the room. To create real change, we must work together as a business community and as neighbors so that Michigan prospers. I mentioned the triple bottom line. At Consumers, we see success through the lens of not just the bottom line of our company, but the bottom line of you, our customers, the people, also the planet. Prosperity for the entire state. I can assure you, just in the 6 months since I've been there, and that these are not just words. I've been in the room when decisions have been made that were not about the profit of Consumers Energy. They were about the people, the planet, and the prosperity of all of you in this room. We know we're winning when Michigan communities we serve is successful in all three of those areas. And so with the remainder of my time, I'd like to tell, as if I haven't already, some more stories and focus on the Great Lakes Bay region. My first story I want to focus on is helping the people of the Great Lakes Bay region. And I can't talk about people without focusing on safety. It is paramount at Consumers Energy. I mentioned people, planet, and prosperity, but there really needs to be the S word in there, safety. We focus on that more than anything else. The safety of our workers and the safety of our customers is number one. Nothing else is more important. Earlier this year, the Consumers Energy Foundation donated $40,000 towards a new state-of-the-art firefighting training center in Essexville, a project that has been in the works for years. The training facility will give firefighters the chance to work together to practice how they would react in real-life situations. They'll be able to conduct live burns, practice ventilation, even go inside part of the building that will be set up like a house, working their way through doors, walls, whatever else they may encounter when they're fighting fires in the real world. A local training facility is critical because right now, if Bay County firefighters want this type of training, they have to go to Oakland County. I'm sure Oakland County loves the economic development money going down there, but the time and money adds up, most certainly for small communities. We appreciate that. We understand the importance of safety training, keeping our communities safe, and we especially understand the importance of having those training opportunities available close to home, which is why we decided to lend a helping hand. Now, I want to point out that I chose this story today because it's a beautiful example, like this room, of people working together for the betterment of a community, partnership. You're going to hear that a lot. Yes, we donated $40,000, but that's just a small portion of the fundraising that was needed to make this happen, and we've been thrilled to see local municipalities and fire departments working together to get the resources needed for this project. And the collaboration doesn't end there. Once this building is complete, it will be impactful for all the fire departments in the Great Lakes Bay region, all of them. All 14 of them in the county will have access to this facility as part of your mutual aid response agreement. When we work together, and we do it in the spirit of true hometown neighbors, everyone benefits. Next, I want to touch on planet goals. I want to touch on our efforts to protect and care for the planet, which I know is so very important to all of you in this room, with the access to some of the most beautiful natural resources in the state and the nation. It's another little story. I first met Patty in 2009, long before I started at Consumers. I was working at Michigan National Speedway. I was actually at the Mackinac Policy Conference, and we sat on the porch of the Grand Hotel, and oh my God, we connected immediately. I think all of you feel a connection if you've seen Patty speak, and we did. And we got together several times after that, and we talked a lot. We had several conversations. One of the conversations was about climate change and our belief in it, our respective desires, and the opportunities that we had to do something about it. Now, you may not know, but at Michigan International Speedway, thanks to Consumers Energy, we turned that facility into the greenest sports facility in the United States. All of our energy came from renewable sources, and we're the largest, I guess they still are, the largest recycler of all sporting facilities in the world. We're very proud to do that. We couldn't have done it without Consumers. Meanwhile, Consumers was making headlines too, making a lot of changes. They were named the greenest company in Michigan. I don't know how many people know that. The greenest company in Michigan and the 9th greenest in the United States. That was according to Newsweek. Patty would tell me she was going to stand up, tell people that she believed in climate change. That's very brave for anyone. That's very brave for a new CEO. That's incredibly brave for a new CEO of a utility company. She said, our commitment to green, and this is quote, is not just to be compliant to meet a standard or because green is a feel-good soundbite right now. It's because we sincerely believe in improving the planet and leaving a legacy for future generations. I mean, wow. That's huge. I mean, I was floored when she told me she was going to do that, and she's done it and continues to do it. For me at that moment, I knew I wanted to work at Consumers Energy because this is an opportunity of a generation. So I'm not here to tell you how excited I am about that personally, though I just did, or how great Consumers is. The story of how we arrived at these goals is really what I wanted to share with you because it was about partnership, collaboration. Again, it's a story of working together for the greater good. So before announcing our planet goals last year, we spent months engaging communities, employees, customers, local governments, other businesses to set a plan for continuous improvement with regards to planet goals. We didn't want to simply create goals that we thought would help our planet. We wanted to make sure we were doing something meaningful and we got it right. So with the help of environmental experts, many of you in the room, and other stakeholders around the state, we were determined to set the best goals that would truly leave that legacy that we were talking about. And here they are. Save 1 billion gallons of water, reduce waste to landfill by 35%, enhance and protect 5,000 acres of Michigan land, and also to reduce our carbon footprint by 90% and increase our renewable output by 400% by 2040. Reaching those goals, and those are big goals, will be just as collaborative as it was to set them. To cross the finish line, we're going to need partnerships. For example, we're partnering with communities around the state on volunteer initiatives year-round, but most certainly this month, Earth Month and Earth Day coming up here in a couple weeks, that will help us reach our land goal, including a planned event right here, Bay City State Park on April 27th. I hope you will join several Consumers Energy team members as they are out there helping with the Bay City State Park. Recall I mentioned at the beginning that our customers are also becoming our partners. This is exemplified in the Planet Goal because as partners to make the planet greener, we are also going to save our customers green in the form of money. For a long time, utilities, not just consumers, utilities around the nation have told people that clean energy is more expensive, and that is just not the case anymore. We have access to cleaner and more low-cost energy resources today, and that energy is only going to get greener and leaner. And Consumers is leading that transition for Michiganders. Consumers has already saved our customers over $2 billion since 2009 by partnering together on demand response, energy efficiency, and other programs, and that money will only continue to grow as we continue that partnership in the future. Prosperity, the other P, the last P, the last story I'd like to share with you right here in the Great Lakes Bay region again. As you likely know, Consumers Energy is one of the largest employers in the area. As I just mentioned, with our goals, we have a path towards zero coal, which means we have new plans in place for the communities in which our coal-fired power plants have lived for decades. The final story takes place here in Hampton Township, the home of our J.C. Weddick plant, which is currently in the process of decommissioning. Weddick began operation in 1940 and was retired in 2016, along with the Cobb plant in Muskegon and the Whiting plant near Monroe. Together, these three collectively were affectionately known as the Classic Seven because together their 7 coal-fired units generated nearly 1,000 megawatts of electricity for our customers. Retiring these coal plants fits with our clean energy plan to eliminate coal as a fuel source for electricity and for the planet by 2040. Weddick's demolition is slated for December completion, December of this year, but most of the work will actually be done this fall. Final restoration work is planned for the spring of 2020. Here's what I love about this story, that while we are closing one chapter in our story in this community, the coal story, the book is far from being finished. We plan to open many other chapters in this community. We're helping the plant's employees either retire themselves or transition to new roles in the company, and we're working with the community and stakeholders within the community to ensure that Hampton Township is not hurt by the plant's loss. Right now, we're in the request for proposal stage for future use study, the method that we will use to determine the best plans for the future of the old Weddick property. But we don't want to wait to help the community. So we're working alongside Hampton Township officials to secure an Economic Development Administration grant. That is ongoing as I speak, to explore economic development options for the community that will add jobs and tax base to the area that we've called home for so many years. Before I play a video, at the end of the day, I want to reiterate, we are a company that is driven by a commitment to hometown service. I know that's very easy for me to stand up here and say, probably hard for you to truly believe, but it is true. It is sincere, it is real. Look, we all make mistakes, and Lord knows Consumers makes them as well. But I can assure you that commitment to you as a customer, as a partner, is more real than it's ever been. Patty, one of my favorite quotes, she has a lot of them, is, if our customers understood our true intent, they would love us. So I do want to share a quick video with you to show that that is genuine, real, authentic, sincere intent.
You'll be fine, you'll be fine.
Dad!
I'll be there, I'll walk by your side. Take your time, make
You've always had big dreams.
You can be whatever.
And I always had big hopes. You'd follow them.
I think it is.
It is! I got in!
But change
Consumers Energy is
isn't
announcing
always
this
easy.
morning plans for shutting down its remaining coal and fire plants.
Sometimes you have to learn new things.
So many roads you can try. Go there and see the sunrise. A million ways to go, but somehow
I never knew how hard it would be to see you go.
and the bond that we had, you and I, cannot be bent, not be broken, never die.
But you know what?
You're home.
Things get better.
You just let your heart decide.
We have committed to have zero coal. It is the heart of our commitment to serving people, the planet, and prosperity.
So I don't, many of you may have seen that commercial already. Oh, thank you. That's cool. I'll see Patty later tonight at the first state championship down in Saginaw, and I'll pass along your applause for you. So thank you. That's very kind of you. That was obviously actually her, and that was actually her dad in that video. So very touching. I hope that conveys our intent, and I know that was just one of the 12,000 employees, but I can assure you, aside from Jeff, we are all committed and all have that intent. Just gotta give you a heck, Jeff. Seriously, thank you for allowing me to share our intent with all of you today and how we look at you and feel about you as customers and partners. Thank you for allowing me to make you my guinea pig, my first presentation. Hopefully I did all right. I would certainly like to try to answer any questions here in a minute, but I do want to close with just 2 more points. I want to thank all of you in this room, all of you in the Great Lakes Bay Area, and what you're doing. The video was amazing, and I know I've only sat in the room for just a few short minutes, but you can pick up the vibe, at least I can very quickly in rooms like this. And I was not intending on saying this, but because of what I could sense in the room, I want to share with you a quote, and you remind me of this quote. It's an old Chinese proverb. It goes like this: the one who says it cannot be done should not get in the way of the person doing it. And I think Bay Future is doing it. So congratulations to all of you. It's really awesome. So I don't know if we have time for a couple of questions. I will attempt the operative word, attempt. Yes.
I've got a couple of questions. You mentioned partnering up with businesses. It reminded me of a couple of years ago, we were looking at putting 100,000 square feet of solar on. One of the challenges was that we couldn't sell excess capacity back to the grid. Maybe that environment's changed, but can you comment on the status of businesses being able to sell capacity back to the grid and being a partner in that way? And second, you mentioned the Mackinac conference you went to. The Mackinac Center a year ago criticized the integrated resource plan that was filed by consumers because they sensed it as a shift away from free market and towards central planning, and wondered if you had a response to that criticism.
Okay, wow. So as I said, I've been here 6 months. All right, let's see how I am on my feet. Let me tackle the latter one first. I don't really, the Mackinac Center, I respect their work. We were actually at the policy conference, and that is just a group that shares a few words. And I respect their work. Through all of my endeavors, except maybe at Capitol Records, I've not always necessarily agreed with some of their findings. And I can tell you that the Integrated Resources Plan, in my mind, is nowhere close to being about central control. It is about people, planet, and prosperity. It is moving away from antiquated ways of generating energy, embracing the technology that is out there right now. I mean, you think about the disruption that technology has brought to every industry, not just energy. Manufacturing, I know we got a lot of manufacturers in here, finance, healthcare, I don't care what industry it is. Well, utilities are not immune to that, and there's a benefit to that. What we're going to be able to do with all of you as partners to reduce your energy usage. Again, the when do you want it, where do you want it, how do you want it, is going to create a lot of savings. It's going to create and allow us to do things for the planet that we never dreamed of being able to do, and to add solar and to add wind. So I honestly don't see central control, that group. And again, with all due respect, they tend to talk a lot about those directions in just about any of their subject matter that they review. And I would love to have a debate with them, but I will respectfully disagree with their findings and feel that this is a great opportunity to really become a solutions provider. Again, the conversation is not just going to be this anymore. Here's our gas, here's our electricity. It's going to be a two-way conversations about helping you solve issues. The net metering piece, again, I'm new, and this is true. But here's my take on net metering. I see someone going off the grid right now and the way the utility industry is. So this is not just consumers, by the way. This is my layman's view of utilities around the United States, and how the grid is paid for, the upkeep on the grid. And someone going off the grid is no different than if I were to go to a restaurant with my food and my beverages and sit at their table and have my dinner, but then expect them to clean up after me with their busboys, with their servers, using their facility that they paid for, either in totality or they pay rent on, and the insurance that they had to carry, and then getting up and leaving. So I think net metering is a good thing, but it has to be done the right way. That would be very unfair to the restaurant in that simple, very layman's terms example I gave. A restaurant probably wouldn't do that, and many do with wine. You can bring your own wine, but there's a corkage fee. So we certainly want to work with the Public Service Commission and other stakeholders in finding out an equation and a pathway that is reasonable, because we do want to see solar grow. Absolutely. Planet's it's one of the big 3 Ps, and I'm a huge believer in that personally. So absolutely, we want that opportunity to exist for our customers, and that be one of the potential solutions. But I think the way that it stands today, it's more of that restaurant model, and I just want to make sure we get that right, if that helps. Okay. How'd I do, Jeff? Okay. I don't know what Patty would say, but we're off and running. Anything else? A softball, please. Yeah. Yes.
I've been at a lot of township meetings. Not in my backyard seems to be a big theme. So how do you overcome the not in my backyard thing for solar or whatever, wind energy?
You know, that's a really interesting question, because I'm certainly privy to that as well, but I'm also certainly privy to those landowners that are very super excited about some wind farms and solar farms coming, and what it's doing to the tax base and the opportunities that exist there. So I think it's a balance. Most certainly we'll find those communities and those landowners that are excited about that and work with them to build a consensus. We're certainly not just going to go in and put something down where it's not welcome. Again, this is about a partnership. So I have found that there have been more folks interested in this partnership and specifically what you're talking about than not. There are a few certainly that are out there. It's not 100% yes in my backyard, but if you go in and you're transparent, you're authentic, much like what Patty just tried to express and hopefully did in that video, and you sat down with the stakeholders and you talk to them, and you're truthful about the cons. You lay out the pros and cons. I think that we develop really good dialogue, really good relationships. We all end up in a really good place, and that's what we want to do at Consumers. Yes, ma'am.
Roger, here's your softball. Saginaw Valley State University. This morning I heard you on WSTW. You did a great job.
Thank you.
Good job there. I think your message today, the message that Consumers Energy is sharing on people, prosperity, and the planet is bringing well. We were happy to have Patty Poppy in the area on Wednesday when she was involved in the Business Roundtable at Next Year Automotive. Yes. Great message there, and so we welcome you and Patty's SVSU, and frankly this whole room to the state Championships Robotics at SVSU. Please come join us today or tomorrow. It's a great place to see amazing things happen. So this is really just a thank you, Roger.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That was a softball. All I have to say is you're welcome. I like that. Great point. I mean, Saginaw is going to be rocking this weekend. The Saginaw Spirit, I understand, have a home game tonight. Hopefully they can wrap that up. And playing Sault Ste. Marie, I think I heard. So, and then obviously FIRST, which is a great competition. And for those of you who don't know what FIRST Robotics is, it is our former governor, Governor Snyder, who I worked for, said it was like the Super Bowl for nerds. And he would consider himself a nerd, so he was being very respectful when he said that. But what a great opportunity for our students in our schools to work on project-based learning that takes some of those learnings and puts them in the real world where they have to build a robot to do amazing things. And it's the students, just for them to get that experience and those 21st century job skills that I know many of the employers are looking for are embodied in FIRST Robotics. And the state championships are at Saginaw Valley State tomorrow. I think there may be a little competition tonight for Patty, and I think there's a dinner. And then the World Championships are, for those of you who don't know, the Worlds are here for 3 years. And tens of thousands of people are coming into Detroit. And for many of them, it's their first opportunity to experience this wonderful state of Michigan and Detroit. And so what a great opportunity we have from a pure Michigan standpoint as well with the FIRST Robotics World Championships. So thank you for hosting us tonight and tomorrow. I look forward to that. Maybe we have time for one more if there are any. If not, we can wrap up. Great. Sir, thank you for your questions. In all seriousness, those were great questions, and those are things that need discussed. So I'm glad you brought them up in this forum. So no, I'm just kidding. Totally kidding. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the region may have been your last presentation at TED, so thanks for making us your guinea pigs for your first at Consumers. And thank all of you for your continued commitment to Bay Future and the region. If you're not a current investor in Bay Future, please feel free to let any of our board or staff know, and we'd be happy to talk to you about how your investment can benefit economic development in Bay County. Thank you to Great Lakes Bay Michigan Works for sponsoring the annual meeting, Consumers Energy for being our program sponsor, and McLaren Bay Region for sponsoring the annual report. And thank you to the DoubleTree and their staff for hosting a wonderful lunch. Now, a couple of people who have not been thanked yet, the staff of Bay Future, Megan Manning and Sherry Gray, they both do a wonderful job with Trevor. Let's give them a round of applause. 2018 brought impressive gains, and with your help, we can continue to lead economic development in Bay County. On behalf of the Bay Future Board of Directors and staff, we would like to thank you for attending our annual meeting, and the meeting is adjourned.